If you've ever thought the SUV market has become a little predictable, you're not alone. Everywhere you look, there's another sleek, tech-heavy crossover shouting about luxury this and premium that. But what if you don't care about showing off? What if you just want space, practicality, rugged style, and capability, without draining your savings? Enter the Dacia Bigster, the SUV that's quietly shaking up the game. Now, let's be honest. Dacia has never been a brand that screams glamour. It's a brand that whispers something far more powerful, common sense. And the Bigster, Dacia's first true large SUV, takes that philosophy and stretches it to full family size. It's big, bold, and built to prove that you don't need a luxury badge to feel confident on the road. At first glance, the Bigster makes an impression. It's longer, wider, and taller than the Duster, giving off a far more commanding presence. Those sharp LED lights, the new Dacia Y-shaped signature, and those chunky black wheel arches instantly tell you this is no soft suburban runabout. There's a simplicity to its design, almost minimalist, but it's purposeful. It's the kind of car that looks ready for a weekend in the peaks or a muddy car park at a Sunday football match. And yes, it's built on the same CMFB platform used across Renault and Dacia models, meaning it benefits from proven engineering. This isn't a cheap experiment. It's a calculated move into territory dominated by cars like the Škoda Kodiaq, Kia Sportage, and Nissan X-Trail. But here's the kicker. The Bigster is expected to start at a price that undercuts almost every single one of them. In true Dacia fashion, you're looking at something potentially starting around the £25,000 mark for a 7-seater SUV. In today's market, that's borderline unbelievable. Climb inside, and you'll be surprised again. Gone are the days when Dacia interiors looked and felt like 2000s rental cars. The Bigster's cabin is refreshingly modern, practical, and sturdy. You get a digital driver display, a large central touchscreen with smartphone connectivity, and materials that feel genuinely robust. It's not pretending to be posh, but it's definitely functional, and that's its charm. Space is where the Bigster really lives up to its name. There's proper legroom for rear passengers, wide opening doors for easy access, and the boot space is generous, ideal for family adventures, dogs, or camping gear. If Dacia decides to offer it as a 7-seater, that'll make it one of the most affordable 7-seat SUVs on the UK market. For growing families who refuse to overspend, that's a game changer. Now, under the bonnet, Dacia is keeping things simple but smart. Expect a mix of mild hybrid petrol engines, possibly the 1.2-liter 3-cylinder with electric assistance, and maybe even a full hybrid option down the line. No plug-in gimmicks, no overcomplication, just efficient engines designed for low running costs and real-world reliability. Dacia knows its audience. People who want to drive, not babysit a car's software updates every week. And yes, the Bigster will likely offer both front-wheel and all-wheel drive versions. So, whether you're dealing with muddy trails or just British winter roads, it'll hold its own. You're not getting a hardcore off-roader, but you are getting a confident, capable SUV that's more about function than fluff. What's particularly interesting is how the Bigster shifts perceptions about Dacia as a brand. For years, Dacia has been the no-frills budget option. But with the Bigster, it's stepping up, not by pretending to be premium, but by proving that affordable can still be desirable. The design is handsome, the features are relevant, and the value proposition is unmatched. Let's talk about what this means for UK buyers. If you're the kind of person who's tired of paying extra for heated cup holders and 25 driving modes you'll never use, this car speaks your language. The Bigster is for people who see through the marketing fluff. It's for drivers who care about practicality, space, and reliability, and who'd rather spend the savings on actual experiences, not badge prestige. And let's face it, with living costs rising and car prices reaching eye-watering levels, the Bigster arrives at exactly the right time. Dacia's whole, value without compromise, mantra has never made more sense. This isn't about cutting corners, it's about cutting the nonsense. Of course, the Bigster isn't perfect. If you're looking for luxury finishes, whisper quiet cabins, or high-end tech suites, you'll find better elsewhere. But if you want something honest, tough, and refreshingly simple, the Bigster will tick every box that actually matters. On the road, Early impressions from test drives in Europe suggest it's comfortable, composed, and stable, ideal for long journeys. The suspension leans toward the softer side, soaking up bumps nicely. The steering's light enough for city driving but has enough weight to feel secure on motorways. It's not a driver's car, but that's not what it's trying to be. It's an everyday car for real people, and that's becoming rare these days. Even from a design identity point of view, the Bigster matters. It signals that Dacia is evolving, still affordable, yes, but now genuinely aspirational in a grounded, relatable way. It's the SUV equivalent of a reliable work jacket that looks good, lasts forever, and doesn't need a fancy logo to prove its worth. So, as the Bigster makes its way to the UK market, it's worth asking, do you really need to spend £40,000 or more for a family SUV that does, at best, the same job? The Dacia Bigster challenges that idea, and in doing so, it might just become the smartest purchase of the year. Whether you're a young family, an adventurer, or someone who simply appreciates practicality over pretension, the Bigster deserves a spot on your shortlist. Because sometimes, being the underdog is exactly what makes something special. If the Bigster lives up to its promise, it could easily become the most talked about SUV in Britain, not because it's the flashiest, but because it's the most honest. So, if you're tired of inflated prices, overcomplicated tech, and meaningless, premium claims, maybe it's time to think different. Maybe it's time to think Bigster.